did a poll on my channel asking you guys, what are y'all most excited for college football 26, man? And the number one thing y'all said, we had 759 votes, better transfer portal and recruiting, man. And we'll get into it in this video, but I believe that is going to be the biggest improvement for Dynasty, man. Overall, as we know, it was a lot of small improvements throughout, whether it was one thing or another, but it wasn't this overwhelming improvement. Transfer portal / recruiting definitely saw the biggest change out of anything, and we'll kind of talk through all of that in this video. If you guys enjoy the content, like, comment, subscribe, man. Discord down below for the community. Also, check out my Twitch. We'll be doing a subathon on July 7th once the game drops. Man, I believe this transfer portal is about to be insane, man. If you don't change it, if you keep it on default, the transfer portal is going to be insane. I believe this game will have a lot more longevity than college football 25 just because of the changes to the transfer portal. In this 25 game, the transfer portal was pretty much useless. Outside maybe the first couple years, damn near useless. But in this next year, you will quickly see the transfer portal could either kill your team or make your team, man. It's going to be a crazy amount of players entering the portal. Good thing we're able to customize it, reduce the number. You could reduce the number all the way down to 0. And that's also going to play a huge role in just making sure this game has longevity, because you could just do a lot different type of rebuilds. Like, for example, the first rebuild I might do might just be transfer portal only. And then also now the players will actually develop after, they transfer to your university. I don't know how that was in the game last year, but I think it's going to be a complete culture shock for some people, man, especially the person that's not all that familiar with college football in real life, man. If you watching this video, you probably watch a lot of college football in real life. You also probably watch the game, so you know how crazy the transfer portal is, man. It is insane, especially over the last couple years. Think about it like this. Colorado, when Deion got there, around 50 players hopped into the portal for one team. He made 50 players hop into the portal. That is insane. That is like 50 players is nuts. And also, last couple years, you got teams with 20 players, 30 players entering the portal. Are you prepared for you to take over a program? Let's say you take over Auburn. Pretty good roster. You got Cam Coleman, who was a 5-star receiver. You got a solid roster. You have a very underwhelming year. Are you ready for literally 25 players to enter the portal? And it could be situations that literally do not make sense, man. It could be a starter hopping in the portal for one reason or another. He want to win. He's hopping in the portal. You have a backup. You have a 5-star freshman coming in, hopping in the portal. And that happens in real life. In the game, it could be super frustrating. It's super frustrating as a sports fan, to the point where a lot of people don't even keep up with high school recruiting. They just focus on the transfer portal or at the end of the year once everything's said and done, because you got guys committing, decommitting. We also have not real decommits in the game. If a deal breaker is broken while that player is committed, for example, championship contender, you start off good and you end the year bad and now you're no longer a contender, well, that player might decommit, but it's not going to be nowhere near the level it is in real life. So thankfully, we don't have to deal with that in the game. But from my point of view, I want that in the game because I want it to be as realistic as possible. And I get it. A lot of you guys don't want the game to be super realistic, because at some point, when are we compromising the actual fun element of the game? When does that happen? When is it no longer fun? It's just too realistic. For example, a lot of people don't like NIL in real life and how that's going. So they don't want it to be in a video game because, they don't like it in real life and they think it'll ruin the video game. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a proper way to do it. Unfortunately, EA did not figure that out this year, so it will not be in the game whatsoever. But the transfer portal decommits, that could also be an element that could ruin your Dynasty experience, especially, like I said, if you're not that familiar with college football or if you just hate that element of college football. Me personally, I don't like it. I don't like all the decommits, but I do enjoy how busy the transfer portal is. It just makes the offseason a lot more fun, entertainment compared to previous years, way back when the transfer portal hit or when the offseason hit, it wasn't much going on until spring practice, and then you got into the next year. Well, now you got a whole transfer portal, pretty much free agency to look forward to in your offseason. So how will all this affect your Dynasty, man? It's just going to be very different. It's going to be extremely different from this past year, man. You will recruit different. There's no reason to bring in that many 5-stars if half of them going to transfer out. You know, you probably won't bring in 2 5-stars at the same position no more. You know, when you're bringing in 4-stars, you might also be conscious. Okay, I brought in 2 4-stars receivers. Maybe my next one want to be a 3-star that, you know, deal breaker might not be as harsh with the playing time. And, you know, because that guy might not really see the field until junior year. And if he's a 4-star, he might transfer out after the freshman year because 4 and 5-stars typically want to play earlier in their career. So it's just going to add a whole nother element that we didn't even have to consider in 25, man. 25, the transfer portal was so bad. And also, like, just recruiting when it comes to, like, players not understanding, oh, I'm the 5th string quarterback and I'm a 5-star. I probably should transfer out as a junior. You know, in real life, as a sophomore, they probably leave him if they're the 3rd string quarterback and a 5-star. That's just the reality of things, man. These 5-stars, 4-stars really do not want to sit behind players. If they don't see their path to start, they're not doing it, man. Arch Manning not transferring out for the 2 years that Quinn Ewers was there. That's rare. That is super rare to happen, man. Also, it'll be interesting to see how early some of these players go to the league. Like, you know, do you have a lot of 3-and-dones, or do you guys got guys going for 4 years? Or if you're a 5-star, you know, maybe you try to leave early because you're chasing the bag. We'll actually see how it goes. But this element, bro, I really do think, and I hate to, you know, be on EA's side. You know, I know some of y'all don't like what EA did with just not having a big change to Dynasty. I really do think this transfer portal and new recruiting will really make it enjoyable, man. We'll see in about over a week, but I really do. And now it's like, if you're a small program, you might not want to bring in 4 or 5-stars too early. Like, you might not, just dependent, because their motivations can change. It's dynamic now. You know, they might start to care about athletic facilities, and you know good and darn well, as that 1-2-star program, your athletic facilities is not something that could get better easily. You know, pro potential could increase, you know, I won't say easily, but you could definitely increase that. You know, building a whole new athletic facility is not possible, and the game recognized that. So if that turns into a motivation, you're cooked. They're going to transfer right out, man. So, like, when you're pursuing these guys, you might want to wait a little bit. You know, you might want to actually build your program in a way that make more sense. Because if you just go after the top guys and you do land them, and next thing you know, they develop these deal breakers, now you're heartbroken. Because you got your 5-star transfer who might be a 90+ overall, but now he want to win games, and y'all just not there yet. And he transfers out, go to Alabama, man. Also, when you're the good team, and like this screen right here is forever going to be insane. Insane, man. So you have Keelan Russell, I believe his name is. He's a 5-star quarterback. He comes in as an 80 overall. This is a real life player, by the way, man. He's transferring out for playing time. In real life, will he transfer out? We'll see. But it's Alabama. You know what you're getting yourself into when you go to Alabama to play any position. You know, unless you really that guy, you probably not going to be on the field until sophomore, junior year. If you're a 5-star, you know, maybe you touch the field sometimes as a freshman. He's probably going to be 3rd string quarterback this year, maybe 4th string as a true freshman. And just after 1 year, he's transferring out in the video game for playing time with extremely low chance to bring him back, man. That is brutal. That is brutal, man. I think this transfer portal is going to be nuts. I think it's going to be very enjoyable. And I think the part that's going to be most annoying is like playing style. You got a guy transferring out for playing style, man. I feel like that's more rare in real life. You got a guy transferring out for playing style, man. You know, maybe you could argue Nico transfer out for playing style. That's what he claimed the reason he left. We all know it's really because the cheese, the money. But I just feel like that's not as frequent, but here it's like damn near half the guys transferring out for playing style. And the unfortunate part is, like, that is super tough to control sometimes, man. It's tough to control playing style, and last year it just wasn't done great. It just wasn't done great. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better. It's supposed to be a little bit better. It's not just supposed to focus on one thing. It's supposed to be a combination of things for playing style. We'll actually see, but that one is definitely alarming. And I really do love the dynamic deal breakers, man. Decorian Moore here, who is a 85 overall freshman. We'll see if his overall actually that high, but he's a 5-star. He's supposed to be a very impactful player coming into Oregon this year. But just at the 1 year player progression, he goes up to a 91, and now his deal breaker has pretty much went up from a B plus to an A minus. Not a huge difference, but his overall went up. So guess what? He wants to play more. Just stuff that makes sense, man. And we'll see how crazy it gets. I just hope it's not the same for 3-star players, Cause at the end of the day, 3-star players, they're very different from 4 and 5 stars. We'll actually see. But of course, everyone want to play. But 3-star player, you go into Oregon, you much more understanding when you don't play your first 2 years compared to maybe a 5-star or a high-level 4-star. Overall, I think the recruiting system and the transfer portal is really going to make Dynasty great this year, man. Add in also the team builder. I think team builder is probably maybe 1A, 1B to the transfer portal and recruiting of like when it comes to just the biggest changes made to Dynasty, man. Because if I don't know if y'all probably have seen the team builder stuff, it is a lot. All the stuff they added, man. All the changes you could actually make to a Dynasty, being able to change pipelines, being able to change this, that, and the third, the school grades. All of it is actually a very big change, and it will actually do a lot for your Dynasty. You probably will have some teams or some people like remaking their favorite team, maybe just adding more uniforms, changing the pipelines, how they want, changing the school grades, maybe making them more accurate. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some stuff like that happening, man. But super quick video today, man. More so just wanted to talk about recruiting Dynasty, as I know that's what y'all most excited for college football 26. And honestly, that's probably the thing I'm most excited for also, man. Definitely super excited for it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Also, check out the Twitch. As I said, we're doing that subathon on the 7th once that game drop. Other than that, check out the Discord for the online league, all of that, and we're on to the next one.